Hey, it is Fernando from the Rollback Podcast, and today we are reviewing another one of my personal favorites, one of the lost COVID movies, The Way Back, starring Ben Affleck.
So the way back released, you're like you said, like what, like a maybe a week right before
March
the
1st.
pandemic. Oh yeah, so it was right in the middle of the shutdowns
It was
happening.
like 2 weeks before everything started shutting down. I think it was like March 25th. I want to say that's when things started shutting down.
Yeah, I remember it was around March period. I was working at the airport in Corpus, and they were just starting to shut down flights.
Yep.
It was fucking crazy.
Yep. So
Uh,
this one, like Invisible Man, except Invisible Man had more of a theater run than this movie because I think Invisible Man came out in February. So it had a little bit luckier of a run.
what's called? Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I think also the Invisible Man had more hype behind it because this is an original film versus a somewhat well known property. You had a name actress coming off of
Mm-hmm.
Handmaid's Tale, like you know,
Mm.
so you had all that. Um, but yeah, so
This movie is directed by Gavin O'Connor, whom you might know from hits like Warrior, The Accountant, on the way back. Um, I believe he was involved in the movie Honey Boy, Glory Road, Hoosiers. A lot. I mean not Hoosiers, but he was involved in a lot of pretty big sports movies. And me personally, I've already told you this plenty of times. I do think it was absolutely horseshit that Ben Affleck was not nominated for this role. Well, especially with 2020 being such a fucking light year.
I think part of that though was also like everything was getting overlooked that year. Like everyone was too worried about other stuff. But so this is a movie I remember seeing trailers for. I never bothered to watch it.
Hmm.
I'm ashamed of myself. I am ashamed of myself. Um, this movie, so folks, Fernie recommended this film. I think you recommended it more than once, and I was just kind of
Hmm.
thought, it sounds like overly dramatic. It might be like my version of Fences. I'm not gonna love it. Nah, turns out this movie is fucking solid from beginning to end.
Hmm.
Um, a story about addiction, dealing with grief. I mean, stuff that you did not expect at all, at
Literally
all.
trying to find your way back.
Which I think kind of got a little personal for Ben because he has gone on record stating that he's dealt with alcoholism, right?
Alcoholism. Yeah, he's dealt with alcoholic dependency. He's been through rehab. Like he's he's been through shit. Like so I'm pretty sure this movie was either coincidentally something that he was dealing with or he knowingly was like I know what mind frame this character is in, and I feel like I'd be perfect for the role. But it's funny, like Ben Affleck gets such shit, like for all his earlier work. Um, Geely, fucking the Kevin Smith movies, but he's a really good fucking actor.
He Ben can go when he wants to,
Yeah,
definitely. And
you're telling me if someone was like, "Hey, we're gonna give you like 10 million to do Armageddon," would you turn that down?
oh fuck no, dude, I would do it for 1 mil. I'm cheap.
Exactly. Like people gave him shit. Like that was always the knock on Ben Affleck is that him and Matt Damon's careers, Matt Damon went and did like super serious movies while Ben Affleck went and did like action movies, rom-coms. But even Matt Damon was like, no, like I mean that was just what we were given and we were kids. We were taking whatever they would give us because it wasn't guaranteed that we would be working.
Well, I mean, especially if you're an up and coming actor, like
Yeah,
like no one's gonna look at Michael Bay and be like, nah, man, I'm better than this.
exactly.
Fuck no. But actors have done worse. Fucking Jennifer Aniston did the Leprechaun film.
Oh
Like,
God.
come on, come on. I didn't know people gave Ben shit for that.
Yeah, Ben has always gotten like a lot of shit for just being an actor.
See, I would think after Argo, like he was done dealing with the
You mean
bullshit.
Argo fuck yourself?
dude, I love that movie.
No, I
Um,
mean, it wasn't until yeah, he started directing with Gone Baby Gone, The Town, and then Argo that people were like, "Oh shit, like Ben Affleck's a really good fucking director." And even Kevin Smith was like, "No, like this guy like he was always the guy behind the scenes telling me, "Move the camera, move it, you fat shit."
I
But
believe you.
but
I
yeah,
believe you.
like uh even Kevin Smith was like, "No, I never gave that dude like directing lessons. Like the dude was gonna be a director like if he wanted to."
Yeah. In this movie, so the movie starts out. He's on a construction site. He's a bit of a roughneck working construction, and he's just like gobbling coffee like the whole time
Irish
working.
coffee.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. That's one of those reveals. I was like, oh shit, I didn't see that coming. Like, it's not until after the scene that it's revealed how much of an alcoholic he is. Now he just
Yeah.
busts out a beer while he's driving home. Okay, I can understand that. I don't condone it, but and then he starts popping
Yeah.
more, and then he's drinking at the bar, and you see like the scale of his drinking. Like, god
I
damn.
I think the most eye-opening scene for someone that doesn't know who an alcoholic is or how they act is the scene where after he gets offered the coaching job from the priest, he's at his apartment or his house, and he has like a full like 24 pack
I think it
in
was more
his
than that, man. It's a
yeah,
lot of
he
fucking
had like
beer.
maybe like let's say 30 beers in his fridge.
Yeah,
He drank every single one of them.
dude. But it's nuts because he also has this system where he takes the he takes one out of the freezer, takes one from
I
the
do like
fridge,
his
puts it in
drunk
the freezer.
ramblings though.
The yeah,
Yeah, like
uh,
fuck you and your fucking team.
but you also see his deterioration of his like I won't say his mental capabilities, but like you see him getting more and more
Yeah,
loose.
going into his stupor.
Yeah,
Like
he goes from
he's drifting off into where he wants to be, where he's not thinking about anything.
or he man. But I there's so many gut punches in this movie. I didn't see it coming. The first one is
Wait, hold on. Like for me, like I know it's bad to say, and this is just it's something I always see, like especially when they do it right.
Mhm.
You remember how he's drinking the beer and like he pops one open, he has the cigarette like perfectly placed, and he takes like he takes a smoke and then he drinks.
Yeah.
I was like, fuck, that looks so good right now. There's only a few shows and movies that make a cigarette look like fuck, I can use a cigarette right now. This movie, the show Rescue Me, those those are pretty top tier for me. Those are the ones that every time I see it, I'm just like, fuck, I could buy a pack of smokes right now.
Oh man. That was a personal touch from Fernie, folks.
But yes, back to your gut punch.
Well, no, okay. So at Thanksgiving, he gets into it with his sister. She's concerned about him being
Oh
alone,
yeah.
blah blah. But it's kind of
Which
revealed.
way to bring up your fucking brother's problems at Thanksgiving dinner? Like that's gonna be helpful.
I mean, are we surprised that we both have families? Like, we all know somebody like that. That's like, oh, I'm gonna bring up the worst part of your life right now. Let's talk
It's just
about
like, wow, dude, way to be a fucking cunt about it.
it. So initially, I'm like, oh, okay, he's a drunk because him and his wife separated. I wonder, if the drinking caused the separation or if he became a drunk after. I assumed that was the thing, though.
I'm pretty sure it was. I'm pretty sure that didn't help,
Mhm.
but there is more to the underlying story.
Uh, Believe it or not, folks, there's a way worse gut punch that. But so he starts to coach the team, and his alcoholism gradually like deteriorates to zero as he's
Yeah, like
coaching
because
this team.
he finds a passion and he's finding these kids to be something that he can motivate and put his stake in.
Mhm.
And me personally, like I don't know if you want to talk about it now, but me personally, my favorite scene is that little motivational scene that he has. The rage scene.
The I will not be a coach of a team that got out. No,
I
okay.
have it written down word for word.
All right, go for it. Go for it.
Him.
You want to smoke a cigarette first?
Listen to me. I want every one of you to reach in your shorts right now and tell me if you find it fair. Because right now, you're playing like a bunch of fucking pussies. And that's the truth. Next time 32 goes over your back like that, put a fucking elbow in his stomach. And if Childress tries to put you on a poster like that, you hit him so fucking hard he never comes down the lane like that. Have a little fucking pride. I don't give a shit if we lose every fucking game this year. I will not coach a team that's been out toughed.
Dude.
And honestly, I think that's probably one of the better sports speeches. I think it's top three for me. For me, it's that one, Any Given Sunday speech of Al Pacino, and Friday Night Lights, the movie.
It's nuts though. I see. I would put it in the same league as Al Pacino's
Ooh, you
speech.
know what? Replace Friday Night Lights with Rocky Balboa. The
That's how winning
It's
is
about
done.
how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit.
And keep moving forward. How much you can
Yeah,
take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
yeah. I'd say those are probably the top three sports speeches because that fucking scene when he says that, that gets you fucking jacked.
Dude,
Because it's true.
I would listen to that speech every day before workout because goddamn. So folks, I was actually messaging Fernie as I'm watching this movie the whole time. And I think I remember telling you that speech got me going. I'm like chilling
The
on my couch with
payoff
my
is the
dogs.
fucking priest's face.
Yeah.
He's
This is code of
like,
conduct. Fuck your conduct. No, I'm
he's
sorry. I'm
like,
gonna
all
work on it.
right, I guess. Like, I get what you're going for, but
Hey, it worked.
you're not supposed to be cursing.
um, but no, a great fucking speech. And then going forward from there, his team they get better. They actually use some sports. I don't know how much do you know about basketball. I know very little. I know enough.
um, I know a little, probably
Um,
more than you, but not a ton.
well, no, but the whole spiel about him like saying like they're bigger than us. We're gonna out last them endurance. That's the
Oh
same
yeah.
strategy from Coach Carter. Like
Well, no, yeah, that's a thing. Like, I mean, basketball is a game of finding the right guys to work on that court because if you get a bunch of guys, a bunch of superstars that aren't gonna mesh together, you see it in the NBA a lot.
yeah, the
The
super
Brooklyn
teams.
Nets, for example, this past season had probably one of the best lineups on paper that you could see, and they didn't do shit.
Hmm.
Like a lot of times, or for example, the San Antonio Spurs. Not saying that they don't have any. They never had any stars because they did. They had Tony Parker. They had Manu Ginobili. They had Tony Parker. I mean, not Tony Parker. Tim Duncan. Like they always had a great chemistry together, and they always did their roles well.
Yeah, they,
Like,
they always had each
no,
other's
yeah,
backs.
basketball is a game of like finding those right players and using their strengths.
No, I agree. But I see. I love that aspect of it though. It gets you more into the game,
Yeah.
and they get very technical to that. And I love that. I don't think enough movies do that part as far as like, dude, I know very little about basketball. I could follow what the fuck they were doing, and that's
I
saying
think
something.
basketball is probably one of the best sports you could do on movies where
Mhm.
it looks real enough.
You know what sport I think would do great in movies?
Mm.
Bobsledding. I'm being sarcastic as fuck. I'm sorry. Continue.
I mean, they already tried that with Cool Runnings and it never caught on.
They did that. They did a movie about
You've
bobsledding.
never seen Cool Runnings?
No,
The story about the Jamaican bobsled team from the 80s? What the fuck, dude? Did you not have a childhood? This is a Disney movie starring John Candy.
a bobsled team from
Look it
Africa.
up. It's on Disney Plus. It's called Cool Runnings.
I, okay, all right, we're gonna do cool runnings at some point,
Jesus
probably, baby.
Christ. How have you never fucking seen Cool Runnings?
Hey, no, you want to hear something worse? I've never seen the original Ghostbusters. It's in its entirety in one sitting.
Jesus Christ.
You're welcome.
But
So let's get
yeah,
back to the way back.
yeah. Okay, so after the speech, you do see a turn in these kids because they've never had a coach that was raw with them.
that he motivates the hell out of it. At one point, he benches the
One of the
big guy, the
starting
superstar.
the center.
Yeah, Marcus. No, he doesn't just bench him; he kicks him off the team,
Yeah,
and he has
because he
that
was
Coach
late.
Carter. Go ahead.
Because he was late.
Yeah, and it's Coach. It's only 4 minutes. It doesn't matter. He's about punctuality and whatnot.
Hmm.
Um, and again, the kid has a moment where please, like I want back on the team, whatever it takes. And they go on the streak, this winning streak of just winning and winning and winning, and it seems to like incoherence with them winning, the alcoholism goes away. Ben Affleck is seemingly happier in his life. Cunningham is happier. He's drinking less. He's not staying out late at bars. There's
Hmm.
Doc that doesn't have to drag his ass home anymore. Like he's
Hmm.
getting better.
And then, unfortunately, when things start getting better in these movies, things start to go bad. And when things start to go bad is when his ex-wife starts coming around because they're going to go see this family who's having a birthday party for their kid, who at the same time he was a patient with the same condition as their son. Um, their son didn't make it; he passed away tragically, and you can tell like just being around those people, that part of his life was hard,
Yeah.
and like he didn't want to be there because he couldn't handle it.
It's man that I can't speak for you, but I can speak for myself when I say that like I don't condone alcoholism, but I understand why he was.
Yeah, I
Like,
can see as to why he was breaking down. I mean, losing your kid, then losing your wife, and then losing everything. Like he
well,
didn't want to think about anything. He didn't want to feel anything.
well, he gets raw. Also, he even tells his wife, and again, I understand when he says this. People always say he's our son. I think Matthew, I think was his name.
Hmm.
He's in a better place. Bullshit. The best place for him is right here between you and me.
Yeah.
I like that. Man, like that. That hurt my heart. Like more,
Well, yeah, because
more than
I
any
mean,
other
we
scene.
always hear that saying like, "Oh, they're in a better place now." So it's like, I mean, for someone that doesn't take that the right way, it's pretty much like you're telling them that being with them wasn't the best place.
Yeah. I mean, what
Like
was
that
that?
fucking yeah. That this movie has some heart,
Yeah.
and
So
it's not long. This isn't a long movie,
it's like what, an hour 40 maybe.
maybe, but it goes by quick.
It does, dude. Honestly, if I have one complaint, I wish there was more of this movie. I want more of this story, and I get it why not every movie can
Hmm.
be 5 hours long, but that's a good complaint to have. If I'm like, dude, I want more of this.
Yeah.
I mean that as a compliment.
No, and then when things start going bad, that happens, and then the kid whose birthday party they went to gets admitted into the hospital, and
Another
from
rough
what you
scene.
can from what you see in the movie, you're just like, well, things aren't going good for this kid. Like it seems as though the whatever this kid had, I'm assuming it was cancer, came back with a vengeance, and he was in the hospital, and he's like, I can't fucking be here.
And it's they mention, I don't know if you were listening to the background or not, but or maybe it was the wife that mentioned this, that he had a fever at school. When the parents picked him up, he started having seizures,
Yeah,
and as far as I'm aware, that comes with certain kinds of cancer that exist, brain tumors or whatnot.
yeah.
That happens, and it's just fuck, man. Kid, it's never easy when kids have a disease like that, in these
Oh
films.
yeah. This movie really tugs at your heartstrings because you see this person who was already in a rough spot, and you can see them like trying to climb out, and then they just get kicked right back down into the hole. And then from there, that leads to him drinking, and thus leading to him getting fired.
And and god damn it, man. Like it didn't I understand why he had to be fired. I don't blame
Yeah.
the assistant coach. It's just like you couldn't keep this shit out of the office.
I
Or
will
call
say, when
out.
I first saw this movie, I was not expecting for him to get fired.
I When they found the beer cans in the office the first time, I knew it was going to come up.
Mm.
I
And
I knew that
yeah,
was going to happen.
yeah, he gets fired, and then he spirals even more. He goes to the bar. I think this is the part where he meets that blonde.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's when he meets the blonde. They're wasted,
Yeah.
and he goes into the wrong house, and
Oh, runs into the wrong fucking person.
like,
I
fuck.
mean, on one hand, you could be like, some people would defend him, being like, "Oh, dude, like he wasn't doing anything. He's obviously a drunk guy. Like he went into the wrong house. Like, why are you being such a dick about it?" But you have to think about it like this: like that guy doesn't know who the fuck he is. This guy could be trying to fucking kill his family.
What's called? No, dude, I don't. I mean, who the fuck tries to defend Affleck in this situation? Like,
I do. I feel bad for Affleck in this movie. He didn't
well,
do it on purpose. He was just trying to get some pussy.
I mean, look, man, he didn't do it on purpose, but you suffer the consequences. All
Yeah.
right, you
And
better
then
know
he
what
gets
fucking house you're
what?
going into.
He gets hit
Oh,
with a baseball bat?
no, no, he just tries to walk out. The guy wrestles with him for a sec. Affleck falls down some stairs and falls out of a thing.
He
Uh,
falls down a fucking steep hill.
yeah. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And he gashes his head, and he has a black
Yeah.
eye. Like he's just beat to shit. And then his wife, oh, not his wife, his sister is like, you're gonna go to rehab.
Yeah.
Like you're going.
Yeah. She's like, I'm gonna pay for it. And like, you're gonna go to rehab. And meanwhile, like his team um is going to a tournament. I think it's a state championship tournament.
Yeah. Um, they're going to a tournament, and he's not there, but they kind
No.
of bring his lessons. They bring his spirit with
Yeah.
them. You know, the team captain found his voice, and press him, press him. Everything that Ben Affleck used to say. Press him, press him, press him. Same
Yeah,
stuff.
he really like for the little amount of time like he was with these kids, like he made a very big impression. And one thing that I think we don't realize as adults is how much of an impression you make on kids,
Yeah,
especially like at in a vulnerable position like they're in a team that's not playing good, and then this guy talks to them with such a passion like, I think you're the fucking best. You need to believe you're the fucking best.
yeah. Um, and I assumed he was going to go to the game, but no, there's one point in the film where he's talking to one of the characters, and he's honest with him. He says, I was good at basketball partially because his dad, he always thought his dad hated him, but his dad hated him less when he was good at basketball.
Yeah, he only
So
liked him for what he could do.
yeah, and as a fuck you to his father, he just quit basketball altogether.
Hmm.
And he makes a point of saying, I haven't picked up a basketball since. I haven't played
Yeah.
since.
And he's
And
like, my life went into alcohol and drugs. And he's like, I don't want you to go down that path.
yeah, and this is not to bemoan to like make little of it, but this is just as a comparison. Do you remember there's a scene in No Way Home where Andrew Garfield is pleading with Tom Holland, like, look, I went down this dark path. Somewhere along the way, I stopped pulling my punches, and I just don't want you to get angry and bitter like I did.
Yeah.
Like in a big brotherly way or in like a
Yeah.
mentor way. That's in capacity. Affleck, like, I don't want you to be like me. I want you to
Yeah.
do better.
And
Being a father figure.
yeah. And he goes to rehab. He looks like he's doing a lot better. His family visits him. And this is already nearing the end of the film. The team goes to the state tournament. And from what we can hear from the audio, they beat the team that pretty much wiped the floor with them before.
Yeah, the Knights, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's upbeat and
What
you're hopeful.
what I know you had texted me this because you weren't expecting that ending. What did you think of the ending?
I loved it. I love two things. I love the fact that Affleck wasn't there, and it's a different kind of ending. You don't expect that. Like
Yeah.
any other sports film, you have the main character there where the action's taking place, at least to
Yeah.
witness. Also, they're fine. I think they won. I think they won because it's become such a trope now of the team loses at the end
Yeah.
that it's like, finally, for fuck's sake, we have a team that deserves to win, seemingly fucking winning.
Yeah.
So I love that. What do you think of the whole of the, like, the final sequence of everything?
I remember when I first saw this movie, I was a little like, oh, this movie's ending like this. Um, so I always thought that was a little, it was a little weird, the first time I had saw it, but like going back and rewatching it, I was like, you know what? Like this was the best ending. It was really good because I think for me, I think it deserved it. I think this movie deserved this ending because it shows this character healing
Mhm.
and thus really earning the title the way back.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the title as far as like him finding his way out of, digging his way out of the hole.
Yeah,
Um, Man, just a powerful film. A film I really do think should be talked about more. It's not fair that this film was so quiet, and yet other movies, even other Ben Affleck movies, like what is it? We Own the Night. I wish this had
yeah.
that amount of budget
Publicity.
for marketing.
Yeah. Look, see, I'm gonna read you, because again, I'm very adamant that Ben Affleck really should have been nominated for this movie. His passion in this movie is fucking undeniable. He shines bright as hell in this movie, in this role. These were the best actor nominees for the 2021 Oscars of the 2020 year. We have Anthony Hopkins, the winner for The Father. Um, and then we have Riz Ahmed from Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Gary Oldman, Mank as Herman J. Mankiewicz, and Stephen Yeun as Minari. Now, you tell me how the fuck Ben Affleck wasn't in this nomination pool.
I think you swap out Sound of Metal for this one
Like, it's
easily.
such horseshit. Like, I don't know any of these fucking people. I don't. I bet you put any of those fucking movies in front of me right now, I'll be like, those fucking movies are boring as shit. I feel like the Oscars have turned into such artsy horseshit that it's just like you do lose some of these great performances because it's not an A24 film. It's not a low budget indie film.
Maybe Mink, because I remember hearing about it, but I never saw it.
Exactly. Like how the fuck do these films get nominated? Like, it played in two theaters in fucking Wisconsin. That's why it got nominated. That's how indie it was.
Like,
Like like that.
the fuck's it even about?
Mank, a 2020 American black and white biographical dramatic film, um, of
RKO.
Herman J.
Yeah.
Mankiewicz and the development of the screenplay of Citizen Kane.
So it's a movie about the creation of a movie. That makes
Yeah,
sense. That makes sense. That's why it was nominated. That makes a lot
like,
of sense,
dude,
actually.
it's such horseshit. Like, what the like one of my favorite speeches is when Adam Sandler won an award for best actor. It was one of those other awards, but it was for Uncut Gems, and he pretty much like gives the Oscars a fuck you. Like, fuck you, dude. Like, I tried my best in this movie, and even you all are too prissy to be like, that was good. And that's one of my favorite speeches because he really does give a fucking middle finger to the Oscars. And I think more people should do that. A lot of the Oscar shit now, like, it's bullshit. Like, for me, I thought this movie should have, not this movie in general, but Ben Affleck's performance in this movie was personal. It really cut deep, and you could see like you knowing someone like this.
It feels personal. You're right. It feels very fucking personal, like capacity. Um,
Like if that's not a part of the category of best actor where this person completely embodies this character, then I don't know what is.
almost, and I don't mean this is a slight. It almost feels like Ben Affleck wasn't acting. It feels very like he's putting in a personal touch on the movie because again, he's been
Yeah.
there. He's been
Yeah,
there.
like he's been there. And that's why he was perfect for the role. But it's like it's I guess that wasn't good enough.
Um,
But closing, we'll close this off on a positive note because we love this movie. A lot of people love this movie. Me personally, I give this movie 4 out of 5 stars. The only slight I have against it is that it could have been longer, and I would have enjoyed. I enjoy it either way, but I think it could have been longer.
yeah.
What would you rate this movie?
Actually, an A, man. Like it's very good, very entertaining, and I could, unlike a lot of movies, I could see myself watching this movie again very soon. I would want to show it to people. Like I assume you've
See,
shown
you
other
need to
people.
trust my taste in movies a lot more often.
No, hey, I was actually going to ask you, and I can cut this if you want, but for you,
Uh huh.
I noticed between this movie and Goon, you tend to like movies about guys, good dudes, just trying their best or trying to be better, do better. Is that a personal thing on you? And again, I can cut this if you want.
Probably. I mean, that's always been my slight. Like, I've never felt like I was the greatest at anything, but I always felt like I had to try.
Mm-hmm.
So I probably have a personal tendency to, I guess, mirror myself in these characters.
Hmm. Okay. Just curiosity, man. Just asking.
No, yeah, I can see that.
All right. All right. You want to close this out?
Let's do this. Thank you everyone for joining us for the rollback and our review of the way back. You can check us out wherever you get your podcast needs: Google, Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, wherever you get your podcast needs. We are more than likely there. We try to put out podcasts every Wednesday and Monday.
Every Wednesday and Saturday. We shoot for
Wednesday and
Saturday.
Saturday. Wednesday and Saturday, more than likely you're gonna catch us putting something out. So please stay tuned. I've been a little bit more consistent on the Wednesday rewind, so that is a good thing. So please check us out wherever you get your podcast needs and follow us on Facebook and Instagram. This was your review of The Way Back. I'm Fernando,
I've been Eddie.
and let's cut this.